Natty Beatts is our guest today on the podcast. So excited you are on here again. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited too.
Yay, I love to rip off with you. You so much is going on in your life and your business.
Yep.
Every time I
Everything.
turn around, I see you traveling all over the place. So what what's going to tell us the story about the band that you have?
Okay, so the van. I have a tiny van. Her name's Esmeralda. It's a Transit Ford Connect, so it's not much bigger than a car. It's a really tiny van. I did it up like a princess cabin in the back. And I got the van last year at the end of August after my whole life fell apart. Now, obviously, I understand it was me getting put on my highest timeline. At the time, my guide said, "You can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. You asked for this." And they said that when I was crying in the kitchen, crying my eyes out, saying, "Why am I being punished? Because I lost my boyfriend, my house, my dream car, like my business just wasn't doing good. There's all these different things. My health ended up in hospital with a kidney infection. Then I twisted my knee and couldn't walk for a month. This was all in the space of like 2 months." And I was like, "Do you know what? I'm going to spend £900 on a van." One of my other psychic friends that I have regular reading swaps with, she said, "You just need to go. You need to get in that van. You need to take whatever money you have on your credit card and go." And I handed myself over to spirit, because at that point, even though I've been working as a psychic healer and psychic development coach for a couple of years, I was honestly like, okay, if this shit's real, then fucking prove it, because otherwise I'm done. Because that was how I was feeling.
Yeah.
And how did they prove it? Yeah, went on a magical mystery tour around England. Got in my van. Didn't start off very well. I was feeling really blocked in my psychic connection. Went to Avebury because I thought I'd connect with the stones. Went to a mind body spirit fair and it was horrendous. I never want to go to one of those things again. I don't go to them. Too many psychic healers in one place. And
Wait, share more about that. What do you mean? You're like, no, too many of us? You're like, no, gotta get out of here.
yeah, but they're not all of us are like us. There is a lot of false light bullshit out there. There is a lot of let's just say the darker side of spirituality. I'm not gonna go into that too much, but that we all know that courting is a thing, cursing is a thing. There's a lot of people who do it. It happens subconsciously, and they can do it like, do you know what I mean, tapping people's energy and all of this shit. My guides have always warned me off these places. I've just always got a massive no. And I didn't have a connection with my guides very clearly that day. And I saw a flyer and was like, "Oh, it's a synchronicity. I'm supposed to go to this. It's on today." And I walked in and it felt like there was bees trying to get in my head. And I went and sat in the toilet and was purging out energy. And I didn't know whether it was from someone else or from me, but I was like, absolutely not. And then I drove to Glastonbury because I was just trying to think of places to go, like where my spirit guides might get activated. And I bought this necklace, which people can see on the video. It's an etheric weaver that I got from Buddha Montreya's center in Glastonbury. And I put it on, and at the time I had no money in my bank. And this necklace, my guides told me I needed it, and I thought it was going to be about £70, which is about $100. And I was like, I'm not fucking buying one of those overpriced hippie crap things. There's no way. And they said, "We'll reimburse you." And I went out and said, "How much is that rainbow one?" And he picked it up, £128. So that's about $160. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And my guides were just saying in my ear, "We'll reimburse you, we'll reimburse you." I put it on and something unlocked in me and I just burst out crying on the spot. I've got a picture of me somewhere on my Instagram with this necklace, just crying my eyes out. And suddenly my guides were back. You couldn't shut them up. I left the shop. They were telling me, "Turn left, look right, go in there, there's something for you." It was like suddenly synchronicities just went in fast forward. And then over the weeks that followed, I drove around, ended up in Cornwall. I had a conversation with someone and they mentioned the word Tintagel, which is now where I'm going to end up moving to at some point, which is where all the dragons are, literally, where the Merlin's cave is. And I went there and
Oh, really? Oh, now I'm super nerded out about
yeah,
that.
you
So,
go. It's most
yeah,
because
um, when in the early part of my psychic development and awakening, Merlin came to me, right?
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I was thinking, well, aren't you just like, make believe in my head because I know he was on movies and stuff. I'm like, no, he's really real. And it was so weird because he had this table of all this stuff. And come to be, he was telling me he was going to help me learn alchemy, which some like at the time I thought alchemy was just turning something into gold, right? But over time now I realize it's actually, transforming. That this all is alchemy. So,
Yeah.
and I'm super nerded out about the dragon thing. So we definitely have to talk about that because there's I have like I believe everybody has a dragon, right?
Oh yeah.
But I did this weird past life thing before, and they take you back, and it's not necessarily on planet Earth, right? But I had a big fat dragon. It was so big and so fat. In this hypnosis, I'm so deep in hypnosis. It was the crazy. Even my voice was changing and stuff. But so I'm super into dragons. Tell like the audience she's working with dragons. How did that start?
Well, the first time I came in contact with dragons was about a year and a half ago. I had a session with one of my mentors who's doing a regression on me, and I healed a past life like we do in many sessions. And at the end, these two dragons flew out. And I was like, oh, okay. I'd only just got used to that point, unicorns and ETs being real, and now there's fucking dragons in the mix. I'm like, sure. It spun me out a bit. And again, I'm like, oh, I don't really know what to believe. And then they came through and gave me a gift of this sword, like an astral thing that they put down my back for protection. And then it wasn't until about a year later, so dragons didn't really come through again. I then had a big dragon called Ethrador come in, which is the only one of my personal guides that made it into my oracle deck that I've just channeled. And he is a dragon that helps you travel, so he can travel really far, and he can you can journey with him. So you can call on him. His name is Ethrador. He's a blue and red dragon, and he will help you with any sort of astral travel journeying. He started coming through when I was doing some really heavy work with clients, a session where I got taken into the 15th dimension. Now I was like, I've only been taught that there's only 12 dimensions and blah 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 blah, and they were like, no, there's many infinite dimensions. This one's the 15th. And I had to go in and do, it was like some big dark spiritual war that took place, and there was basically, I was saving souls from another planet. I got as many as I could, and I started feeling quite shaky. And there was like they looked like two lumps of black coal. And I was shown that they were souls that have not only turned away from the light, they've gone completely dark. So it's like they were literally like coal. And I was like, I'm not fucking going in there. Like, there's no way. There was some big entity hanging around as well. I was like, this is, I need to call in the big guns. So I called in for any of my highest guides. This is what I always do, hand it up to the divine. We're only humans, we can only do so much. And Ethrador came in, and he came and got these soul fragments out, and then we healed them, and there was a dragon egg underneath. And I was like, oh, he was obviously rescuing his dragon egg. Amazing. Now that was that session. And then again, for a few months, I had no dragons come through. And then it all kicked off in December last year, when I got the flu really bad in Paris. It was in the lead up to the winter solstice. Now, I've just had the flu again, really bad, pretty much for the same reason, and it was handing up to the summer solstice. I call it timeline flu. It's when you jump timelines too fast and you're bringing through loads of new energies and codes, and your body just goes, fuck this, and taps out.
Yeah.
So I had the flu. I had a session, healing session with my mentor, Wolfgang, and I had something, like when we're scanning for attachments and stuff, I had something, and I said, oh, it looks egg-shaped. And he said, oh, is it an egg? And I said, yes. And he said, is it a dragon egg? And I was like, Yes, it's a dragon egg. And he said, okay, do we need to get it out? And I felt suddenly really protective and was like, no, 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 this is my dragon egg. And then I remembered the night before I had a dream that I had an egg, like just like a normal chicken egg, and I was trying really hard. Everyone kept trying to break it, and I was trying not to break it. And it turned out that I'd agreed in the dream to incubate this dragon egg and help bring it into the earth. So this is where it gets a little bit weird. I've now come to I can talk about all this stuff because it's now fully integrated in me and I've been helping other people doing it. But a few months ago, I was like, what the fuck is happening to me? I called on the dragon that brought it in. The dragon that brought it in was my dragon Sandefell, which is one of the keepers of the Merlin's cave. So Merlin came in as well to facilitate this coming through. It was so exciting. And I basically got the message that this dragon egg, it was like an act of service, me bringing it through. So it was coming through in my sacral chakra. I now know that they come through your incarnation tunnel, but I didn't know that at the time because I didn't know what an incarnation tunnel was. But they come through, and
Can you explain that really quickly? What's an incarnation tunnel?
tunnel, with my limited understanding of such multidimensional things, is where you incarnate through. So like we come through this life through an incarnation tunnel, but it's also where like I always see mine in my womb area. So when I journeyed into my incarnation tunnel, you've got one where souls come through, as in where babies come through. My best friend journeyed into there first, doing some healing on me, and she's a shaman, and said, "I've never seen one like yours. You have an extra tube, and it's labeled dragons. You might want to have a look at that." And I went in. I've got my incarnation tunnel, I've got babies, I've got dragons. And since doing this work, I've just did a channeled dragon course, and the people that were doing that as well, a lot of them got eggs and they've journeyed into their incarnation tunnel and seen the same thing that dragons are coming through. So this egg comes through. And my mentor guided me to ask the dragon, okay, so what's the trade-off basically? So what it was is that it wanted to it would take 12%, like drain 12% of my energy for 7 days. And I might get some discomfort around my stomach. And what I was getting in return was getting my wings back, which was basically my ability to fly with the dragons, but also my ability to travel, and got just loads of gold basically. And I was like, I mean, sure, who doesn't want gold and travel?
Okay, then, yeah.
Right, taking it with a pinch of salt, thinking, you know, guides give me gifts here and there, and it might pop up. I get £100 off a relative or something or other. So I got over the flu. I did a shamanic journey. This dragon egg came forward and was born into this little black dragon called Kiartuk. He's amazing. He is tethered to me always by a rainbow cord. I keep him in this realm and he keeps me connected with the dragon realm. It was a whole ceremony. The Arcturians came in and blessed the dragon. Merlin came in, some fairies came in, Isis came in and gave the dragon energy. And then the dragon's wings would take another 3 days to fully form. And that was the day that I was told I would be able to leave Paris and carry on my journey. So left Paris, carried on my journey, was driving down France, and honestly, like I could just perceive this dragon every time I tapped in. Big fucking black dragon flying, just I cannot describe the feeling of complete freedom and safety and strength and empowerment of me just driving along the motorway with this dragon. And then in the few weeks that followed, I got guided to book. I found an apartment overlooking the beach with massive windows, and it costed 1,800 euros, which was the entire money I had on my credit card. Like it was literally all the money that I had in the world. And my guide said, "We'll reimburse you." And I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding." I'm like, I can't spend 1,800 pounds. I was like, oh my God. I was like, right, meditated with it. And I was like, I'm getting a yes. Like, I'm just going to have to do it. So I booked this apartment and I made the money back in 3 days.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. I had, while I was ill, my guides channeled through me some information about a psychic development course that I would be channeling. They just gave me six subjects, 6 or 8 subjects. That's it, nothing else. And then my guides told me, launch it with this. So I literally went on social media with these random 8 subjects, no fucking idea what I was doing, and sold this course. It was have always struggled with charging properly for what I do as well.
A lot of light workers do, yeah.
Yeah, So I wanted to charge £555 for it. And when I had a session with my friend, she said, nope, they're saying 697. And I was like, I can't charge 697 for, I don't even know what's happening. I don't know if it's going to work, blah, 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 all the self-doubt. And I put it out there and I made £10,000 in a month. And
Like,
my dragons came through and told me, you have to go home, and they meant Tintagel. So I abandoned my plans in the middle of Europe on the way to Spain, literally just at the drop of a hat, left early, drove all the way from Spain to Cornwall, which is pretty far. It's like, I don't know, 20 something hour drive. Drove back there and yeah, channeled this course. It was the biggest thing that I've ever done in my life. I had, I think, 3 or 4 other dragon eggs come through in that time. One was for healing, one was for safety, one was for loving kindness. Since then, I've had another 5 dragon eggs through, all for different things. And yes, it's a trip.
it is trippy. You know, I really dig the dragon thing too. And I've seen them in trees. So, certain trees, like especially certain pine trees, they even have like the scales on them, and you could feel their energy. And it's like, it's so interesting to me. There was even one girl, I was scrolling on Instagram once, and she's standing and she has her hand on a tree and she's doing like a yoga pose. That tree was a freaking dragon. And I told her, I said, there's a dragon behind you in the tree. And she was saying that her and her girlfriend work with dragons, that they were posing for pictures for their social media and had no idea that this freaking tree behind him was a freaking dragon. I'm like, it's a dragon right behind you. So, I mean, what do you think about that? Like, my brain likes to get into it. So it's like, it has its energy, and it just decided to be a tree just to hang out here.
Yeah, I think they can. I think dragons can shapeshift. They can come into whatever form. It's funny that you say pine trees, because for me, my guide trees, my oak tree's always been protector, but my pine trees are my power, like a power tree. They feel really powerful, so it makes sense that they would have that dragons would be closely like affiliated with them. But in my, again, limited understanding, because we can only have limited understanding of all of this crazy shit, dragons can shapeshift. Their energy can go into whatever. They are massively like all over the rocks. I'll go anywhere beautiful in the world, and I'll be more obsessed with looking at a rock that I've found than at the scenery. Like, I'm so drawn to rocks. A lot of them, like the earth dragons, I just channeled a course with them. The first session was about earth dragons and inner earth dragons, like the dragons that have been here for a long time. And what they were getting us to do is, I was guiding everyone through a journey through their soul tree. I'm trying to remember it, because when I channel, I don't hear what I'm saying. So it's like going back and trying to remember something someone else said. And we journey into the earth, and it's like in the earth, which I'd been told before, there's pockets of dark energy that need to be cleared. There's also pockets of light, like coming from the crystals and the crystalline energy, the grid, all of that stuff that, again, don't really understand. So massive pockets of light that need spreading and clearing. And there's also so many fucking dragons and other beings trapped in the earth that have been captured, that have had stuff done to them. And the dragons will help us guide sort of in there and help them. But I always find them in the rocks. It's like there's pockets of dragons, and they've either got loads of crystals with them that they need to come out, or there's like a dragon that is trapped and cursed and all sorts of bad stuff, and you go in there and you heal it and you set it free. But more and more people are having access to their energy. They said in the first bit, so I channeled the oracle deck, 40 card oracle deck, the 3-week course, and started the book in the space of 2 weeks. This is also why I got the flu. I've never had that much energy come through me before, and I was pretty close to needing to tap out and asking them to stop, but thank fuck I got to the end of the course. All of the energy that they brought through, they said that the reason that it's able to come to Earth now is because of all the work that other light beings, so like us working with ETs, starseeds, Arcturians, Lemurians, Pleiadians, all of these ETs and light beings that have come to Earth, they have been leading the way, connecting with us, helping us awaken, all of that. And all of the work that's been done with like grid clearing, so humans that are doing all of this work, that's literally what has changed the frequency so much that the dragon energy can now come through. So it can come back out of the Earth and it can reconnect with us, and new dragons can come through, galactic dragons can come in, which is where a lot of these eggs are coming in. So the thing with the eggs is like the energy has to move through a human to be able to be palatable enough to be on Earth. So not just a human, it needs to be moved through a fucking powerful channel who can handle the energy and transmute it so that it doesn't blow everyone else's heads off. So this is what they showed me with the eggs. It's what they just brought through me in the form of apparently the dragon tablets, which is what I've been channeling, the energy channeling through. And they, in the beginning of my book, in the intro, they said that humans are the most powerful thing on Earth. Like, we are the most powerful technology that Earth has, and we have no fucking idea how powerful it is.
No shit. Yeah, no shit. Amen to that. Amen to that. Everybody listening. Hello. Yeah, you are one powerful mofo.
They said the powerful technology, and we're the most powerful containers. We are the most powerful containers on Earth because of our innate ability to transmute this energy, all of this energy trying to come from outside to wake up the energy in the Earth. So light codes coming in, lock and key mechanism, unlocking. I mean, look at fucking crop circles, perfect like example of this. There's also a lot of information encoded into the oceans, encoded into the ice caps, like all of this shit that, like, look at snowflakes. They're fucking light codes, right? Yeah. All this information that is just sitting in the Earth, needing to be unlocked, and the keys are flying through channels like you and me.
Yeah. This is why I get goosebumps. I get fired up about psychic development, because people, all the audience listening, people, they don't understand what they don't have access to if they don't develop. There's like, you're unlocking something that is going to change your life, going to change our planet, going to change the trajectory of our evolution. So why wouldn't you want to tap into that, you know? So yes,
unlocking as well the stuff that it unlocks in you. Like, so many people, when I talk about psychic development with people, I have to say to them, like, it's not just for people who want to be psychics, like, it's not just for people who want to work as a psychic. You unlock the deepest parts of yourself. Like, if you are in any sort of therapy, not that I have anything against traditional therapy, I don't think it's particularly effective, but like, if you're someone who's been in out of therapy for years, give psychic development a try, because all of those like personality traits and traumas and addictions that you're trying to get rid of, it might just be a case of a couple of past life ghosts that are hanging around that need to be cleared and healed and sent home, and bing bang bon, you've just cut up 5 years of therapy. I don't want to minimize anyone's struggle with that. That's just been my experience. But the more I do this work, the more I realize that it's like, we all have the keys to the magical fucking kingdom, and we've just all been told we haven't for so long that everyone's believed it, right?
Yes, thank you for saying that. Like, thank you. We've just been told for so long that we can't, right? Or we've been told for so long that you're not supposed to. You're a bad girl if you start dabbling over there. You know what I mean?
Not possible. And it's just so, I mean, so much distortions and programs that have been seeded in since the beginning of mankind, not womankind, mankind, patriarchal bullshit, pretty much years of oppression. And it's in our fucking DNA, it's encoded in our shit.
That's what I was going to say too, when you were talking about how like all there's codes inside everywhere. We're coded too, and that's why a lot of times somebody's code will get like stimulated and they have these random mystical experiences, but they just slough it off as a random mystical experience. When in reality, your code is trying to say, activate me, please activate my codes.
Yeah, literally.
Yes.
Yep, it's crazy.
I know, I love your energy. You're just like blah, 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 blah. So, all right. So the dragons, the van, trusting the divine, I think, is so huge, right? So much, everything's changed for you now that You're just like, oh, fucking okay, I guess I'm gonna do what you guys are telling me to do.
Yeah, and it's really important when we say that, just to put it out there to remind everyone that it's a choice. Like, I don't have to follow this path. If my guides asked me to do something and I said no, nothing fucking bad is going to happen. I'm not going against some big spiritual path or offending spirit. You cannot offend spirit by saying no. An experience happened with me just a couple of weeks ago that made me have to sit down with my guides and re-go over my boundaries again. Part of the flu was that they showed me I was internally bruised from all the codes that I'd brought in. But the other part of it is that I had been doing some collective work for the ocean, which is why my van kept breaking down and I couldn't leave Cornwall, where the ocean is. Basically they showed that I was literally transmuting all of this black stuff through me. And when I was having a session with my friend and I was like, what the fuck, is this some sort of attack? She said, no, you agreed to it. They're saying you agreed to it in a different dimension. I was like, absolutely fucking not. Yes, this is work for the collective. Yes, it's probably an energy exchange because I've been asking for some big things and I know I'm having some big things happen later in the year, but never fucking ever again do that without my permission, unless I have conscious permission when I'm awake, when I'm compass mentis in this body, in this fucking timeline. I want to know what's going to happen to me. Don't ever do that to me again. And it's when you're doing this work, you do have to have really crystal clear boundaries. But when you start following your guidance, first of all, you want crystal clear guidance. So again, psychic development, so that you know that your channel is unblocked and you're listening to good things and all of that.
Yes.
But once you have that connection, you will get tested. If you say I'm going to follow it with blind faith, they'll fucking test you.
I'm scared. I'm terrified to even make that statement. I was like, damn it.
Oh yeah.
Hold on for the ride.
Yeah, I've been tested an insane amount over the last however long. I mean, all of the dragon energy that came through when they said through my friend in a psychic reading, where's the book and where's the oracle deck? And I was like, what, the psychic development book? Not that one, the dragon book. I was like, I haven't finished the psychic development book. I've got 8,000 words left to write. They said you could finish that in a day. I'm like, no, I fucking can't. I did. I finished it in a day. And then they said that I was like, an oracle deck. I haven't got time to do an oracle deck. They said you could do that in a week. I was like, what are you? I was like, right, fine. Do you know what? Go on then. You want to channel through? I fucking regretted that. You want to channel an oracle deck through me and a book and whatever else in a week? Let's go. Put me somewhere nice. I want to be somewhere nice. They found me on Airbnb, I shit you not. So they wouldn't let me book the lodge I was trying to get, which was the only thing I could afford. It's a tiny little lodge in the countryside. All week I was trying to book it. Woke up on the Friday morning, it had fucking gone. I started panicking. I was like, I've got nowhere to stay. I've got hardly any money, like blah, 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 blah. And then they said, look again. I went on and looked on Tintagel, where I wanted to be. The places around there are so expensive. And this lodge came up, this house in the countryside, 3 private lakes, 2 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, a massive dining room, massive kitchen, massive front room, a horse in a field, sheep's fields, ancient standing stones in the garden, in the middle of nowhere, fucking £50 a night for the 7 days that I needed it for. Normally £300 a night for the rest of the summer.
No way. I love
Literally.
it.
I was like, oh my God, thank you. So I booked it and oh my God, did they I was sat on the sofa like, okay, I'm ready. I woke up in the morning. I know when things are trying to channel through me because it's like I want to peel my skin off sometimes. It just, all of the energy's building up. And I sat on my laptop and I started typing and it was like I was having a fucking fit. Like if someone would have been watching me, my hands were cramping up, my arms were shaking, my fucking eyes would roll in my head, my jaw would clamp, like literally this energy coming through me. And then I'd type a bit and then I'd start twitching and fixing again. It was intense as fuck. If I didn't know what was happening to me, I would have called an ambulance. And yeah, I channeled almost the whole thing in a week. But I asked to tap out and I finished the 40 card oracle deck. So it's 40 different dragons, full names, full everything that they do: galactic dragons, mother dragons, earth dragons, and land keepers. And the land keepers took me to 8 portals around the world, the most random locations that the dragons had to guide me to by giving me the country and the object of what it was. And then I had to go on Google and find these things. Fucking insane. And it all came out in 10 days. And the 2 courses, 2 sessions of the course, and 7,000 words of the new dragon book. And I was fucked. Like, I was next level, feeling like I was tripping balls on mushrooms every day, ungrounded, like honestly felt like I was in some weird time portal outside of time and space. I didn't know whether I was coming or going, and then woke up with, well, first of all the brakes went on my van, and then I woke up with the worst flu I've had in a really long time, and then I broke down a few days later. So I was like, wow, something's really trying to make me be still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was last week. And I'm back.
Yes, that's when I had reached out and you're like, oh, I might be home. It just depends when like my guides tell me to go.
Literally, yeah, they told me. So this is a really good lesson actually of like one of the biggest lessons that I've learned through spirituality is to let go of expectations to outcomes. Now, this is included at the moment and for the foreseeable future. The timelines are so unpredictable that even those of us that are lucky enough to be psychic enough to get really clear messages from our guides, you have to fucking check in on that shit every couple of days because they can change. I got told last week that I needed to go to Land's End again to go to the physical Stargate portal to do something. So I was like, oh my God, I'm really ill. Like, I guess I'm going to go there Sunday. Booked an Airbnb until the Sunday. And then on the Saturday morning, I woke up and got the message I had to drive home. 8-hour journey. Go now, do it in a day. So I got up and packed my shit and drove home. And you just, yeah, as my friend told me in a reading a couple of weeks ago, be malleable. Be malleable.
Yeah. It ends up being magical though, right? I mean, it ends up being magical. Yeah.
Yeah. There's pockets of magic all over this world. And if you can handle doing the thing that I hate telling people, and I hate people telling me, it's trust and let go and surrender, man. I fucking hate that shit, but it's what you have to do. And you do just have, I mean, my life has been beyond magical. And I got told, I'm like, spoiler alert, I haven't actually said this anywhere, but it's fine because you know, I got told 3 months ago that my next big project would be a TV show. And next month I fly out to LA to shoot a proof of concept. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm so excited about that. I remember when you told me that. I'm like, hell yes. So let me know because I want to come see you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that was a case of getting a psychic message saying there's no way I can do a TV show. Like that'll be next year, blah, blah. 4 days later, I got followed by a TV producer. And then I just followed the synchronicities from there. And yeah, the most insane things, but
Right.
it's a trade-off, right? I had to get the flu. I've had loads of past shit triggered with heartbreak, and I've had to do a lot of panic attacks, a lot of crying in the kitchen, a lot of healing to allow myself to open up to the gift. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows, this journey, but fuck me, is it worth it? It's better than sitting on the sofa in front of the fucking TV in your little box.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Worrying
Amen.
about her next door and her new handbag. Like, fuck that life.
Amen. You know, I always tell that too to like my students that flow through my development program. It's like, yeah, it's going to change your life, but guess what? All change is uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you what, and your relationships, they're going to be impacted no matter what. That's a huge thing for people. Those people will fall the hell out of your life, right? And it's important.
Some of them will get ripped out forcibly.
Some of them will get ripped out, but yeah, it's important for you to realize when you do, like you said, it's not all rainbows, but it is fucking worth it. It is worth it.
It's magic. That's what the dragons in the dragon book that I'm channeling, they call it all magic. So they won't call it psychic things or spiritual things or anything. They even said in it when I was channeling, they said Natalie, me, is feeling uncomfortable because we keep using the word magic, and she's thinking about, you know, like fake, because people think that magic is not real or whatever, and they are encouraging us to reclaim that word because it is the best word to describe all of this stuff. It is all magic. We're magic. This world is magic. There is so much shit that we have yet to come. That psychics can't even see because we're not even allowed, because it would blow our tiny fucking heads up. and it's all magic. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah. So like, I love how you say like, we're not allowed to know yet and stuff, or even psychics don't know. But like the fact that you channel courses and a book means that when we do work with spirit, we're learning something that you can never learn here on the 3D. And we start building on top of those building blocks. Like, you know, some people might be blown away by this and be like, dragons, what the fuck? She's offered nutbag, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
when you develop into it, there's so many different realms and beings that you could work with. And it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. But you wouldn't have ever gained this knowledge without working with spirit.
100%. I've since my awakening at the beginning of 2020, I've read not one spiritual book, and I don't fucking want to.
Thank you.
I don't
Thank you.
want anything that is tainted. Actually, that's a lie. I recently read a channeled book because it's fucking channeled, and because I could feel that the energy, you know what I mean? It was pure. The Rainbow Tablets book by C. Alanu, 100% recommend it to anyone. And the Divine Union, Sacred Sexuality as well. Those two books, I could not put them down, but it's because they're channeled and they are the new way of learning. All of my stuff is based on light code learning, so you don't have to learn it with your brain. You absorb the information, and each time you do it, you have it on a different level. This is the same as her book. It's the first place I came across this sort of learning, and you really can feel it absorbing in you. It's like you're not some of the stuff I'm reading in there, the concepts, I'm like, I have to put it down. I'm like, that fucking hurt my head. But then a couple of weeks later, it's like the information integrates in you, and you realize that it was part of you all along, and you just understand that. And like this is just part of my reality now. But it's kind of where we're moving to. People need to learn to get their information from source, from themselves, because they are the most powerful.
And we're constantly bombarded with a lot of misinformation. And something else that I feel is really important, right? My stomach, my spirit is saying, you know, with AI, artificial intelligence, like there's so many things taking away from, you know, coming at us from the outside, that a lot of people will be misguided. A lot of people will be misguided. And the only way to stop that is to get your information, like you're saying, from source, from your being, from your guides. And realize that's the only thing that's really real.
Yeah, and trust as well, like finding other people. I say to all of my clients and friends and just fucking anyone that you will, because there's so many false like fucking gurus out there, shit spiritual teachers that haven't embodied a fucking thing. But there is also good people out there that are channeling through good information, and the way to see whether they are for you is simply whether they make you feel uncomfortable, or whether that fucking light in your chest, you feel it. If you feel excitement, love, tingles in a good way, then they're saying something for you. If they make you cringe, or you're like, who the fuck is this? Or do you know what I mean? Have any sort of, or the message that they are bringing puts you in any sort of fear or urgency, same as messages from your guides. If it's any sort of fear or urgency, that ain't nothing good. Don't fucking listen to it. Follow the excitement. Like, follow the love, follow the excitement, and you won't go wrong.
Right. I love it. Yeah, I never read a psychic development book either. And I truly believe that, like, my guides guided me the way they did, because we can't fit it in a box. You can't fit it in a box. I mean, we both have a psychic development book out there, right? What's the name of your book?
Mine's not out there yet. I finished it a few weeks ago. It'll be out there.
Okay. So I mean, we both wrote these books, or are writing the books, and those are guidelines and stuff. But in reality, and I'm sure you probably believe or agree with me, is that when you get to work with us, right, in a program that we've created, that's when you're doing the do, and you have a mentor to be there, because it doesn't fit in a box. I have people
experience
come to me that have like fairies that are like attacking their husband because he freaking chopped the bush down, or you know, just random shit, you know, happening, that they can't get that guidance just in this book. They need a mentor to go, oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of that shit. Okay, tell him to leave the bush alone. You need to go out there and give them an offering. Tell them you're freaking sorry. You know?
Very much. Yeah, it helps you feel less crazy as well. Like I've got my guys in a WhatsApp group from when I channeled the course, and I just decided to leave it open because they're all, I mean, they're all psychics and healers in their own right. And anyway, I left it open so that I can just chuck new people in there, and it's just nice for them to be able to, like you said, that one of them rescued 25 fairies the other day, had no fucking clue what she was doing. She was just guided to do it. She put it in there. She said, I hope everyone doesn't think I'm crazy, but this has happened. And someone else's message like, oh, well, I rescued a couple of dragons. And someone else's, oh, I had this little kid that was a spirit that died down the road and I rescued him. And do you know what I mean? It's that conversation that we really, really, really need to start normalizing all of this, and making it okay to talk about this stuff openly, and to know that we're not the only ones going through it, because it can be fucking lonely and terrifying at times, to be honest. It's good. It's good to have someone to hold your hand a little bit, and not too much. I mean, as mentors, we give guidelines and mentoring, but I'm sure you're the same. I constantly redirect my clients back to them. They'll message me, is this real? Is this right? And I'm like, what do you feel? What do your guides say? I'm like, I'm not your personal channel. Like, you have your own power. I had to go through the shit. I had to make my own mistakes and get my own attachments, and it's all part of development. And it's just having someone to kind of be a healthy container, I guess, to give you some guidance along the way, which is all I had. I just had a couple of really good mentors. Yeah.
Same here. It blew my damn mind when you have that mentor and you're like, I could do what? I could see through time and space. Well, what? Oh, oops, I accidentally talked to it. That person, I didn't even know I could do that. That was really good.
Being able to book a session like with someone who knew what they were doing more than I did when my shit was opening up. Like, if I got an attachment of a client or had some like crazy breakthrough for the first time and didn't know whether it was real, being able to just go and book a session and talk, and then going, oh wow, so this is what's happening, like this, and I'm like, holy fuck, you mean this happens to other people and I can do it more, and I can, like, what?
Yes, I love it. What's the name of your course that you have?
It's called Upgrade from Within.
Is what?
Upgrade from Within.
Ooh, I like it.
My guides gave me that. It was my original course. So I've actually got a free course out. My original course I released in 2020. It's got no activations because I didn't have that ability then, but it's a really grounded, I guess, coaching modules for anyone who's beginners and just wants to know more about it. On my YouTube channel, MoreWithNatty, I just put the whole course out for free because, I mean, it was just fucking sitting there. Like, it's going to help the collective. I did my new course, which was far more fucking powerful than anything I could have created back then. So when I channeled the new course, which is Upgrade from Within, technically 2.0, I released the other one out, and then the book is also going to be called Upgrade from Within.
Yeah, I love it. We'll link your YouTube in the show notes.
And if anyone's interested in dragons, I just fucking channeled the sickest 3-week, all of the energy that I just brought through. I just did a 3-week dragon course that is now finished and recorded as well. So if anyone wants to journey with dragons and receive some dragon eggs, my face, I'm like, want some dragon eggs? Then yeah, they can get involved with that as well if you want to go balls to the wall. Because, I mean, a lot of people won't be drawn to this stuff. But there is a lot of people out there that the dragon energy within them is waking the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the most powerful thing that they've tapped into. So for those of you that have dragon souls, like, I highly recommend getting amongst any sort of dragon work.
I love it. So MoreWithNatty is your YouTube. Where else can people find you? On your website?
Instagram. My website actually should be up and running in the next couple of days. It's nattybeatts.com.
Okay.
So Beats with 2 T's, Natty Beatts. And if you put that in Instagram, you'll find me. And TikTok, I'm Natty Beatts 7. And I put a lot of videos of me talking random spiritual shit out pretty much every day.
Yeah, I love it. I know. I love content content creation.
Lots of nuggets. Oh
About
yeah, I've
spirit.
been snippets actually of the course today, like actual sections of the 8-week development course, and been editing them to put them out there. And some of them are channeled, like trance channeled messages from my guides about cool shit like timelines and multidimensionality. So they'll be going on my social media soon.
I love
Yeah,
it. I love it.
like,
Oh man, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
thank you for having me. I love chatting about this shit.
I do too, no doubt.
It's great.